everyone, Jane here. Thank you so much for watching my video today and welcome to everybody. Today I am going to be flipping through the brand new Maremi Autumn Tales book. Now, if you have been looking at any of my videos lately, you will see I have been using this book at the moment in a lot of my projects, because this is the book that came out last year called Autumn Stories and Backgrounds, and I absolutely love autumn. I love the colours, I love the leaves, I love the mushrooms, I love everything to do with it, especially for making projects. And so I have been really still enjoying this book totally, along with the fungus book, which also goes really well with this book. So just because I've got this one doesn't mean I'm going to be stopping using this one. So that's one, if you are really into autumn, you haven't seen any of Marta's books before, this is a really lovely one as well. But this is the latest one to just come out, so I thought that today I would do a quick flip through. I'm not going to spend ages on every page because you can see from just looking at the pages, but just so you get an idea of what's in the book, if it's something that you would be interested in, or if maybe you look through it, see it and you go, well actually no, I like the other one, or I don't need these images. It's, you know, just to give you an overview. I love the feel. Every time I do one of these videos, I do say I really enjoy the feel of this cover. It's really matte, so it has like a velvet feel to it, which I love. And I always love the fact that the front and the back are just so beautifully decorated as well. Now, I will be, after I've done the flip through, which I will obviously be doing in real time so that we can talk about it and you can see it, I will be doing a project with the book, which I will do in time lapse, and I will have a voiceover for that. So do please stick around to watch that as well if you want to see how some of these elements can come together in an actual art journal project as well. So this is Autumn Tales. I'm going to just, if I do it like this, hopefully that will be, oh, let's go like that. So just checking because most of the pages will be on this side. So Marta always does this lovely little sort of introduction for you. I won't read it because if you buy the book you'll want to read it yourself, but she always has extra images on there, so none of this space is ever wasted. And then on this side we've got a few of the books that have come out. I think these are probably some of the most recent books, QR code, and then we start on with the pages here. So this beautiful background, then on this back of that, so she does not like wasting space. So although these are single-sided, you still on the back of each page you get this beautiful other image, which I'd always think you could use as well. So we've got all the other books that Marta's now brought out, and they are available through Amazon, so you would need to look on your local Amazon for those. And here we go with some beautiful characters. We always get lovely little characters, and now they've got their cozy jumpers on. So I'm loving the colours on this. This one feels a little bit more lighter with the colours. I don't know if that's what the vibe that Marta was going for, but the other one was very much in that much deeper, richer sort of colourway. This feels a little bit lighter, which means it's going to be a lovely complement. This is just ideal for me because where I live on the Isle of Wight, we only have red squirrels. We do not have grey squirrels because obviously being an island, they are protected, and they are protected species, and they are doing very well at the moment. We do actually even get them in our garden sometimes. Although as soon as I put a squirrel feeder up, they stopped coming. Just a bit odd. So here we go with the lovely mushrooms and houses, different little characters. We get backgrounds. My very, very favouriteest, the mushrooms. Sentiments. Mushrooms are autumn's whispers, reminding us that small things hold deep mystery. Oh, that would have gone really well on a recent page that I did. Love that with the, it's like a calendar, and I love all these bits in the background. This is really my sort of thing that I really enjoy. Birds are beautiful, aren't they? Look at these gorgeous birds. Another lovely background in a really watercolour style. Lots of bits to fussy cut, sort of a smaller version of that sort of calendar there, but great background pieces to build up on. And I may have seen that face a few times from my children. And houses and a sort of, I love these like berry trees and leaf trees. And do you know what that reminds me of? Is it the Lorax? I like that. Lots of little bits to cut out. I love these dinky little houses and the bird houses as well. So again, beautiful backgrounds. If you know somebody who likes knitting. Berries, because we've got more berries in this one. Apples, so we're going into that whole, all the different sort of parts of that you get from Harvest Festival. Hot chocolate. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love that. And that one, just spotted that. So we're going more into sort of like more cozy elements. Lots of different pumpkins, but not just those bright orange ones, and slices as well. So that's fun, having the different sort of sections. Oh, I'm loving this background colour here. I hadn't looked to see if all the, these pages are all the same on the backs here. So, but if they find a page that you don't like, which I would find quite difficult myself, but then you can always use that background page. Some words, just individual sort of words and phrases so that you can add them into your projects. I just love these trees that are like the trees that are not trees. More sentiments, more little characters. Oh, that's nice. Having one from behind as well. Love all these bits. All of these things to me are just so useful for building up elements in your background. And again, lots more words. Cute little houses. fluffy roofed houses. Love a moth. Moths are just such fun. And again, the hot chocolate, that cozy autumn vibe. Tags. These are lovely. I like these. They are so cute. So again, you could use them. If you put them onto card, you could use them literally as tags, or they're ideal in your projects as well. Some more beautiful background, more words. Oh, this is like sort of heading more into, I feel like a bit more of a wintry vibe as well. More lovely words. Oh, and some bigger characters. So we've got a real range of different sizes. More beautiful birds. Lovely tags, and of course my favourite of the mushrooms. Oh, and some really smiley, happy little characters there. Sort of a bit fairy tale-ish with the towers. Oh, she's so sweet. Well, they are lovely. I'm loving the little sort of older characters there. Beautiful leaves. You cannot have, in my opinion, too many leaves to cut out. And some more beautiful backgrounds. Again, this is giving me more heading towards winter vibes. And some beautiful little characters of animals. Animals, to be totally honest, they're not really my thing. But, you know, this is just a page. But if you just, every now and again, I might go, oh, yeah, I like him. That's cute. I might add a character in if I feel like it, but you know, it's not too much. You've got a real selection. And then we get our bonus delightful fairies of one world. Also, we've got all different sort of ethnicities going on. That's beautiful. Love that. And then another bonus page. So this is if you're curious to see what's already published. So they're an example of what to expect. I don't think these are exactly what you would get in another book, but they're sort of an idea. So, you know, for me, you've got more mushrooms. I mean, you know how to make me happy. And then at the back we have the information about Marta's YouTube channel and her Facebook group. And she does also have, I don't know if it's in this one, I wish I haven't got it in this one. She also does a challenge where you, with making jumbo cards. I don't think normally she has it in the book, but it's not in this one. But I've got a couple of videos on my channel of making cards. I also do have a playlist of all my projects where I've used any images from Marta's books. So if you go to like my main page and look for the playlists and look for Maremi collage books, you'll find my whole playlist there of all the projects I've made using images from any of Marta's books. Now, I don't have all her books because I do only buy the books that interest me, that are things I know I'm going to use. I'm not a completist in the sense that I don't feel the need to buy every single thing of any set. So if you see me buy a book, it's because that genuinely is something that I am interested in, and I really, those images speak to me, and they are going to be things I will use. So I will now be making a project with this book, with some other bits and bobs as well, of course. I might even fling some things from the other autumn book in there as well. And I hope you stick around to watch that. If you have enjoyed this so far, do please give a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel. And I will see you on the other side. Okay, so I decided to go through the Autumn Tales book and choose some images first of all, because there was so much in here that I knew that if I did this bit with you, I would probably spend so long choosing things. So I had to go with a little hot chocolate and a little apple, because I thought I'd sort of chosen my character first, which was this little one up here, because I decided I was going to work in my Canson art book on a fairly smallish page, and I wanted it to be just a corner of the page. So I chose my little girl, then I chose the elements I wanted to her to have with her, and then I matched her up to these pieces of wood because I wanted something in the background for her to sit against. So I sort of chose the colours that went with her outfit as well. And I also used these colours to help me decide on my page in general. So I'm just going to, for this part of the video, I'm just going to show you cutting out the wood pieces, because I didn't think you would need to see me cut out the whole thing. I do use my little Tim Holtz scissors. These are the snips, they're the 5-inch ones. I personally like to use small scissors. I know some people like to use large scissors, but it's whatever is comfortable for you. In this particular occasion, on this particular occasion I should say, I am actually cutting right up to the lines because I want it to blend into the background, because it's going to be very 2D. There's not going to be any raised elements. So I'm cutting right up to the lines, and I'm not going to worry about going around the edges with any ink or any pen, because they are going to be down on the page, and the likelihood is I will add some shading. So once I'd cut them all out, I decided to go with these 3 colours from Amsterdam, and the colours that I went for, which I will list in the description box below, were Naples Yellow, Red Light, Persian Rose and Sky Blue Light. They're from the small, like a set with all little tiny paints in them, or tiny, they're big enough for me, and they are the pastel sorts of shades. And I went in with a sponge for a change. I wanted it to be a really soft blended look. So I went with my lightest colour first, then I went in with a little bit less of the pink, and then I went in with even less of the blue, and I just wanted to blend them together to create a really soft look. Now I am going to stick my elements on with my Liquitex matte medium. And I like to use this with when I'm doing really flat collage, because I find it just sticks it down really, really well. Now, I did use quite a lot of matte medium, and this will affect the next stage that you'll see in a moment, but I did get around it to an extent, because matte medium is an acrylic, so it's a plastic. So obviously if you are then going over the top with other things, you do need to be aware that it is a plastic, so it may provide a bit of a resist. Now the way to get around that would be to consider what you're going to use over the top, so only be using things over the top that aren't very water based, or to put some clear gesso over the top to give a sort of a primer for you. I didn't think about that when I did this next bit, because normally I do add my Derwent Inktense pencil, and this time I'm using bark, and it is fine, and it was fine where I left it quite solid in colour. Where my issues came in was where I decided I was really going to water out some of that pencil. And what I found was happening, I didn't realise for a little while, was that where I had really watered it out and the matte medium had been sitting underneath, it wasn't going into the paper because it was sitting on top of the plasticky matte medium, and then therefore it was then sort of disappearing. It was resisting it. So you will see that underneath her and underneath the apple and the hot chocolate, and also to the left of the wood, where I'd put so much matte medium across my page, the pencil, once I was watering it out, really wasn't wanting to stay there. Now I did fix this a little bit by adding in extra pencil and not watering it out so much. The only thing with the Derwent pencils is they only really become permanent once you have watered them out. So if you leave pigment sitting there, it may not be permanent, but I wasn't too worried. It's in my sketchbook, so it's not going to be being touched or anything like that. So I added on quite a heavy sort of layer of colour, and I also took some of the colour from the tip of the pencil, and that helps as well by making it more intense. I decided I did need to put some around her as well, and I knew it wasn't going to stick, so I did now go in with my Liquitex clear gesso. Now this gesso has got a bit of a gritty texture, so if you are looking for a gesso that is very smooth, this probably is not the one for you. I like the grittiness. I feel it gives a better key, and so I don't mind that gritty texture, and it helps, for me, it helps things to stick to it better. So after I dried that off, I'm just adding now some of the Inktense just around her, just so that she stood out from that background a little bit more, because I felt that the she was sort of blending into that wooden bit a bit too much, and I wanted her to be the focal point of this piece. Now, once this had all been dried, I did want to now blend the image into the background more, because I felt that it was too separate. So I went in with this little circle stencil. Now this is one from, I think it's a Be Crafty Dinkable, and I'm matching in with the same colours that are in the background. So I didn't want the stenciling to be too intense. I wanted it to be very sort of muted, very gentle, like the background was, and so I've just added in a little bit of that. Then I wanted some stamping as well, just to now tie everything together and build a bit more texture. So this is a Darkroom door stamp. It's called Grid, and I'm using 3 Archival ink pads. So I think it was Sepia, ground espresso, and wild honey. And I was just adding a little bit to the stamp before I added it, and I was being very careful about where I wanted it to be. So where she's mostly in the bottom left hand corner, I wanted the sort of an L sort of shape with my stamping, so going up on that left hand side and across the bottom, so that it sort of just was forming that corner. Then I'd cut 3 sort of phrases from the Autumn Tales book. I did have a look through the Autumn Stories and I couldn't find one that I wanted, so I just went with these 3 phrases that I thought went with the image, and I cut them just with scissors. I didn't cut them with a paper trimmer. I actually just cut them with my scissors, and I'm just adding them on with a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer glue. And I then wanted to add some pen around, so I was trying to make sure that I only put the glue right in the middle and didn't let it squish out, because if you let it squish out and then you go straight in like I often do with a pen, sometimes it can damage your pens. Now this is the Copic Acrea pen in Sepia. It's part of a set of 6, and I don't actually use this colour very much, so it's quite nice to get this one out and give it a little bit of use. So I'm just doing like a scribbly, sketchy border around each of the phrases, and then I thought this needs some splatters. So I was trying to decide, did I want white or did I want brown? And I actually felt that in this particular case, something a bit darker was needed. So this is called Peat Brown, this colour, and it's the Winsor & Newton drawing ink or calligraphy ink. I can never remember which one it is. and I'm just gently splattering some on here. Now I was trying to make sure it wasn't going to go underneath that piece of paper, which sort of had a crease in the middle, so it was a bit tricky. So here is my finished piece. Thank you ever so much for watching today. If you have enjoyed it, do please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you could do that as well. And at the end of this video you will see a list of my lovely super supporters from my members, and if you are interested in that, I will add some information into the description box. So until the next time, bye bye.